Mutually pretty together. Can't be no low.
Mutually pretty. Hey, beauty fades, sir.
I know beauty phase, but some of these cougars out here looking fine as hell. Have you seen Terry Hatcher? That bitch still hot.
Paul Rudd.
Man, that's
Sorry,
that's,
I'm not gay. I'd be gay for that motherfucker.
That's fair enough. Hugh Jackman's still pretty good looking.
Hugh Jackman's got some shit, and and there's always
and he's
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan, if you're listening, if Blake treats you wrong, I got you, boo.
Welcome to the KJ Podcast. I'm Kay. That stands for Kevin.
I is the J. Chase Home. What's up, folks?
And today, we have reviewed and thoroughly analyzed.
Thoroughly. Like people who read stuff. And analyzers.
We're reading?
I mean, if you wanted to do the subtitles, but nah, I like to watch stuff and not read at the same time because it makes my head hurt.
With subtitles for so long that I cannot watch anything without subtitles without it feeling weird.
I mean,
Japanese or not, does not matter.
If it's English, only because sometimes the volume is weird. So, like, the background is super loud, but the foreground for the characters is really soft. So
even if it's loud in the front, and then they have, like, something that you don't catch in the back.
Oh, yeah, probably because of, like, a weird sound
and it
or
says
something
in the
else.
back, like, eerily stupid music across the bottom. And you're like, oh, wait, there is?
Oh, my God.
Man whispers the ending to the movie. What?
How dare he? That son bitch.
Why did they put that in the subtitles?
That uppity son bitch. Son bitch.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
The movie.
Bubble.
That we watched. Bubble. It's on Netflix.
Yes.
Well, currently.
Yes, currently on. Yeah, it was. It was weird because it had 3 different releases. So it had a theatrical release, it had the Netflix release, but it was also separately released for Berlin.
Really?
Yes.
Specifically from Berlin? Why?
I have no idea. That part I do not know.
Where was it released in theaters, though?
For theaters, it was May 13th.
I mean, but where?
I don't know. That part I didn't research.
I mean, because I don't remember seeing it anywhere.
Well, it probably wasn't here. It's probably for Japan.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's fine.
But Berlin got it earlier than anybody else. They got it in February.
Oh, they got it earlier?
Yeah.
Ooh. Fancy Germans.
I know, right?
Super fancy.
Sorry, Germans.
What do you mean, sorry?
I mean...
Why?
I mean...
They got the show. Well, you know what? After watching the show, sorry, Germans.
Yeah, see? I mean, we know it's...
It's not, you know what? The best thing about the whole movie, just like as a total from before even, the animation.
Yeah, the animation
so
is
pretty.
high quality.
It's
and
so pretty.
You know why it's high quality? The people behind this movie have worked on spectacular animes in the past. The director, Tetsuro Araki, worked on Attack on Titan, Black Lagoon, and Kabanari of the Iron Fortress.
Alright, see, I haven't seen any of those except Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it.
Exactly. Attack on Titan has some of the greatest animation I have seen. From the simple, just day-to-day character to full-on transformations of the Titans to... Jesus. The combination of CGI and 2D.
Yeah, see, because I can't stand it when you can tell specifically the difference, and it irritates the shit out of me. Because I'm a person who likes to draw myself, and
Right.
I like to look at art, and when I can tell the difference between, I feel like someone's fucking up.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Maybe it's me just being picky, but you know what? That's what makes me happy. Being picky as shit. And so if I can see the CGI and the and the animation, but I can tell the difference.
Right.
Like there's some new animes now, and there's a lot of not even animes, just cartoons that are like they use CGI, but in such a way that they try and make it look 2D.
Right.
Kind of like Borderlands almost.
Yeah, I think for me, I think when they started doing the cell shading animation,
Yeah.
they kind of breached that 3D kind of dimension for 2D.
Yeah.
That was a great take. Sometimes when they decide to just throw in CGI at random points, like for instance,
There's a car.
yeah, a car. it'll be like maybe like a whole friggin' line of cars down the street. Like, but why are you using CGI for the, I guess, inanimate, and not for your 2D character who should be more your focus?
But I'll be honest, like, I enjoy the animation that's not CGI. Like, the character animation, because I feel like you can be so much looser with the, like, the movements.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And, like, you could like, you're not limited by whatever your CGI model is.
No, if you're doing a full CGI show, that's fine. If you're doing
it's
full
all CGI,
2D,
then I'm expecting it.
yeah, if you're doing full 2D animation, that's perfectly fine. But if you are going to do a blend of these two different mediums, you have to make it seamless. It cannot be something that where it's blatant that you've switched from one medium to the next, or they're just not coalescing at all. Just what's up?
Okay, well, we're getting off topic as we are.
Yeah. It's
But
interesting.
I don't think they did this in this movie where they added CGI, except for maybe the ship.
Maybe
the ship?
towards the end, because it didn't move until the end.
There was nothing that caught my eye that said, "Oh, that's." Because usually when that happens, I can catch it and be like, "Oh, that's CGI," or that's not just hand drawn.
What about the bubble eye? I'm gonna call it
The bubble eye. Which one?
the one that. Well, I know we haven't even said anything
We'll
about.
get there.
Yeah. Let's. Are we doing story? Are we doing?
We do all of it, sir.
Okay.
You know this?
Jesus. All right. You know what? How about I start? IMDb rated this with a 6.4 out of 10. Not super high, not super low. It's about a good mid. My anime listing, 7.4 out of 10, which is a little higher. Rotten Tomatoes, a straight 50%. Straight 50%.
I would probably maybe closer agree to Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay. I mean, once again, that's fair. The story is not. It's not overly great. I mean, the beginning premise is fine.
Yes.
It's the, I guess, would you call it forlorn love story? Would you call it forlorn?
But he's not in love with people.
Shh. Jumping too far ahead. Can't listen. I mean, if people haven't seen it.
I know, but I'm just saying, like.
Look.
Okay, let's tell what they're mostly doing.
Okay.
In this
All right.
They're doing the battle core.
Yeah, we're doing battle core, and see, people who haven't seen it won't. It's
If
battle.
you haven't seen it, you never listen to these fucking podcasts because we're gonna spoil the shit out of it.
Oh yeah.
If you plan on watching it, don't fucking listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
We're gonna spoil the shit out of it.
We are literally going to go damn near frame by frame. We're gonna fucking tell you the whole story, and you're gonna fucking listen to it.
Because we had to listen to it.
Because good grief. So, Battlecore, the use in a bubbled Tokyo. Play this sport. It's a 5-on-5 game of capture the flag, but they have to use parkour to traverse a gravitational anomalied field.
It's like the entire bubble is a gravitational anomaly.
Yeah, it's
like you can't even tell where.
Yeah, buildings have crumbled. There are debris everywhere floating in the air. There are still random bubbles that have not popped floating in the air. So they have to traverse terrains of broken down buildings, debris, and they have to get to these points of capturing this flag. It's a 5-on-5 team. 5-on-5 team.
Touch the water, you're out.
Yeah, that's right. So any player that touches the water, done. You're out of the game. Your remaining teammates have to finish what they started.
Yeah.
And this is how they are getting supplies and food to survive inside the bubbles. Yeah, exactly.
No, is it sponsors? Or
Is it? I was
don't think
I was unsure of whether it was by sponsors or if it was
Like
resources from
governmental-
each team.
Oh, yeah.
So I wasn't sure
Like,
because
you put resources in order to play the game.
right. So it's kind of like a bet.
Yeah.
Like we're challenging you to get what we can get total.
Now there is one team who gets sponsors.
Right.
Who actually has sponsors that they specifically bring up a lot.
Because they're
fucking assholes.
yeah, and they're the only team that does it because they're fucking assholes.
Right.
Or at least that's what we're told because we don't really fucking
Good luck.
fucking shit. Another weird term that they use, an antlion pit.
Yeah, which is where like red bubbles or red water.
It's just like a whirlpool.
Yeah, it's basically a whirlpool in the middle of Tokyo, but there's whirlpools all over the place.
Yeah,
but
so
for some reason these whirlpools are red.
Yeah, these ones are red, and they are really strong, and they will suck you down in a heartbeat.
And it shows like something falling down into it, and then it just like evaporates as it touches the center.
No, that's the spider web.
Is that
spider webs are like the black holes that like
Yes.
suck in and just like destroy whatever goes into
That's right.
those.
Okay, yeah.
And those happen closer towards Tokyo Tower.
Okay, so
Yes.
this story though takes place 5 years after a random event where bubbles fell,
Yep.
and suddenly, like all over the world, bubbles fell
From the sky now.
from the sky.
From the sky. To note, when you come in to the movie, you see an outer perspective of the solar system, and it kind of comes in, passing all the planets until it gets to Earth. So it makes you ponder were these bubbles like alien in nature from space, not just a weird occurrence from the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So,
But they drop all over the Earth. But for some reason in Tokyo, there is an anomaly that takes place.
yeah, some kind of explosion at Tokyo Tower literally draws all the bubbles to Tokyo, and then Tokyo itself becomes encased in a giant bubble.
What is it, like 5 miles, I think they said?
Yes, it feels so large. I mean, looking at it from the outside, it looks larger than that.
But at the same time, it's also like lots of city blocks. So
Right.
it could look larger than it actually is.
That's true.
But regardless, it's one giant fucking bubble.
Right.
And in this area, people are generally not allowed to go.
Right,
But
because
there's
not
a
only
shitload of people
yeah,
in
not
there.
only did that bubble form around Tokyo, but then a lot of the bubbles burst and literally flooded the city. So now it's a flooded city inside a bubble, encapsulated, and people evacuated. But now these orphan children, who are ranging from anywhere, I'm guessing, God, I
They
don't
never
know what the
really
age.
brought up age.
Exactly. I mean,
Except
some of
for,
these-
except for like the scientist.
Right.
They said that she was like over 21 because she was the only one who could drink.
Right, so Makoto is of drinking age, and she's a scientist who is inside the bubble, and she's living with one of the Battle Corps teams called the Blue Blazes, and she's doing research on all of the gravitational anomalies that happened between the time of 5 years ago till now. And they are all living on a ship called the Rayo. And there's another guy who is even older than her, named Shin, who used to be in Battle Corps, but now he's just a referee, and he has a prosthetic leg. We'll get into that later
Yeah.
as to why. But Annie Hooch.
I like hooch.
I do too. I probably imbibe a bit too much, but you know what?
Excuse me, I can't hear you. The sound of me imbibing hooch as I speak.
Trying to chug in my face.
Yes, I was chugging in your face. What you gonna do?
What kind?
Okay, so it starts out. The whole movie starts out after they kind of explain that. It's in the middle of a fight between the Blue Blazes
The Dinky Ninjas.
and the Dinky Ninjas.
Yeah.
And they're both trying to make their way to the flag.
Yep.
And they get cornered at some point, or one of the kids gets caught. almost
Yeah,
at
the
that
kid,
time.
the kid, Usagi, tries to use a bubble to catapult himself, knowing that he does not have the proper balance or skill for this, and ends up falling from that bubble, hitting a building, and then it collapsing under him, and he almost falls into an antlion pit. But then comes our main protagonist, Hibiki, standing on a tower, and he's got his headphones on. He's just listening,
Yeah.
and then he sees what's going on, and in he goes.
Time to hero it up.
And this is when you start seeing the amazing visual prowess that these people who
Like, you know
animated
what?
this movie.
I will say that there was 3D in it, and it was pretty much the buildings. When they're running through and the debris in the air.
Okay.
Because, like, they did a really good job of making it look 2D.
Once again,
where
it's
you couldn't notice.
it's
The animation is
seamless.
It's so good.
I mean, that's just, once again, we go back to Attack on Titan, how they do their
Running
3D
down the
rendering.
street.
Yes,
Shit,
exactly. I mean, you have that gear that they use, and you have all of these different angles that they tackle within a single shot.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that happens here when they start traversing at a high speed. You see a POV of the character, then you will see that POV literally shift from diagonal, top, side.
Yeah,
it's
all of it. And
everywhere.
they're just like jump, backflip.
Exactly.
whatever.
You get to see so many different perspectives of their motions. He drops off the building,
Saves the
hits
kid.
bubbles, hits debris, and he's the only one who is able. Well, only one we see immediately
they said.
that can use the bubbles, and it almost seems like a rhythmic or sound-oriented thing.
Yeah.
You have to hit it at just the proper moment, hit it at just the right pitch and angle
Yeah.
to properly use it. Saves Usagi and immediately puts Usagi down and is right back in the game, speeds through everything, knocks people out of the way, gets the flag, wins it for the Blue Blazes. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yes, team!
Why didn't you just do this at the beginning and then we could have been done with this?
And then
Drama.
at some point we find out. We find out why he stays fairly far away from all the action. But let's see. After
Doesn't
all
he
of that.
fall or get, or is that later that?
No, it's his fall is later after he hears the song coming from Tokyo Tower.
That's right, because that's why he wears the headphones. Because later that night they're celebrating.
Right.
Because they won, they got a shitload of food, and which is like one of the prizes. You get food, you get supplies.
Oh yeah, you get beer.
Yeah, and for some reason
Anything.
they got the scientist, the big-titted scientist.
Oh,
that
yeah.
hangs out with them.
Makoto.
Makoto, she's like, ay, ay, ay. But she hangs out with them with the Blue Blazes while she's doing her research for some reason. I guess it's because they're on a Coast Guard ship.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense to be on a vessel that has
All that
working.
technology.
Yeah, exactly. Something that can actually be used.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, you guys are here too? Alright, I'll be part of your team.
Yeah.
But, so he, of course, Hibiki is emo.
A little
Emo
bit.
as hell.
Little bit.
So he doesn't want to hang out with the boys, so he eats a little bit, and he's like, alright, deuces.
Yeah. Kind of his thing. But
And then he leaves, and then somehow, while he's doing his parkour across the cityscape or whatever, because he hears the song.
yeah, because he asks everybody, do they hear it? But obviously he's the only one who can. And he just has to find out what it is.
Yeah, so he gets closer to
Yes.
The center of the bubble is basically Tokyo Tower. Where it's like stuck in kind of a time warp of sorts, where it's like red and it's half exploded,
Yep.
but
So
it's frozen in time in the middle of Tokyo.
Yeah. So it's for Tokyo Tower, it's still 5 years ago. Basically, it's unchanged from that time of the explosion. It's still like
Yeah, it's still
mid-explosion.
like mid-explosion.
So, what does this kid do? I'm gonna climb this tower and do my best to do it.
Yeah, and get like there's an observation deck at the top of the explosion.
Yes. Nah.
Because the explosion happened just below the observation deck.
Yep. And let's gravity is not great there.
Yeah.
It's not at all.
Gravity goes like they have those
The
black hole,
the spider webs.
Spider webs.
Which I don't
like
understand.
spider
I don't understand why they call a gigantic whirlpool a freaking antlion pit. I don't understand why they would call.
Okay, I do understand that.
An antlion
I
pit.
understand the antlion pit.
Okay.
Because you've seen the antlion pits where it's basically like the antlions spit sand on
Right.
the side of a giant cone,
Yeah.
and then they're at the bottom,
Right.
with their big giant mouths just hanging out, just waiting for something. And then when something walks in, they spit sand at it until it falls down into its mouth.
Okay.
So that's kind of an antlion pit.
Okay.
They could have just said whirlpool would have been easier.
Yeah, better terminology.
But that's not what we're about here. We're about creativeness. Let's call it an antlion pit, as opposed to.
Yeah, we're gonna use insect and arachnid titles for basic anomalies that occur naturally. A black hole is a black hole. Last time I checked, don't matter where it happens, it's a black hole.
Yeah.
You get sucked into it, everything that is you is ripped apart.
Yeah.
Just like what happened.
But yeah, so he tries to go up there. Like gravity goes towards the center of the explosion sometimes. The spider webs just randomly appear out of nowhere.
Correct. Or at least that's what we're.
That's what we're thought to.
Yeah, that's what it makes us think. They just randomly occur because of the randomness of the gravitational fields.
Yeah, and so they appear, and then pieces get sucked into it.
Right,
and then he gets sucked towards it, and he's going all over the place, and then a giant train gets sucked towards it.
Right, and then they get thrown into the friggin' ocean, and he gets dragged down by the train, and
He basically is knocked out.
yeah, he gets knocked the fuck out, and basically is inside a train car as he's losing consciousness. But at the same time, we're seeing a cat in a small bubble near a trash can that has seen all this.
Yeah.
And that bubble freaking just sentiently rolls out and chases down Hibiki.
And looks at him and is like, huh?
Right.
And then
Just dives in the water, and as his last bubbles come out of him, as I guess his last breath,
yeah.
the bubble literally kind of coalesces with all that and creates a girl.
Yeah, it like starts splitting. Basically, it looks like a fucking fetus or an
Right.
embryo.
Yeah. It takes the form of a pop star on a poster inside the train car.
Yeah.
So here comes this girl, the Little Mermaid.
We're not gonna say that.
No.
We don't need to.
Anyway, so she grabs him and she saves him.
Yeah, she blows air into his lungs.
Yep.
And saves him.
Yeah, because she's basically air.
Right. Basically.
Yeah.
But then they bring her back and they're like, and Hibiki's like, oh, she doesn't talk. She also, she doesn't speak. She barely knows what anything is. But you know what? She's hanging out.
Yeah. So she doesn't talk. She finds it easier to run around on all fours like a cat.
Yeah.
So they're like calling her a cat girl, and she is just athletic as fuck because she's sprinting everywhere, and then she's climbing things with ease like a feline. So they're like, we could use her on a team.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But then whenever she touches Hibiki,
yeah, the first time she touches him after they get on the boat, her
her
fingers
hand
get
turns into
bubbly.
they get bubbly and the bubbles stay there. So
Yeah,
she
so-
covers her hand in a
Little glove.
Yeah.
Oh no, Michael Jackson style. Correct.
Yeah!
But they end up. He names her Uta.
Yeah, which is song in Japanese because of her singing. Because she sings the same tune he has heard for years.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, so crazy. We didn't put this shit together because, Anyway.
Anyways, so she hangs out on the ship
Yep.
for a while. Somehow she ends up learning language. They're
Yeah.
talking to everybody.
And I think hanging with Makoto because
Yeah,
Makoto
she
kind of like...
reads her the Little Mermaid
Yes,
all the time.
apparently.
And the girl's like, oh shit, I want to do that. Because Uda is apparently in love with Hibiki. Because, story. That's
Yep.
story. Bubble Girl is in love with Hibiki, Bubble Boy.
Yeah. Bubble Bubble Boy.
Bubble Boy.
Bubble Boy. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Bubble Boy.
Hi. Boom.
Bubble Boy.
Anybody who's seen that, you know exactly the reference.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know. You know.
You know.
Don't act like you don't know.
You know.
So,
she is able to sing the song, and they have like a montage of them like practicing doing parkour.
Yep.
Him showing her
His garden.
special spot.
And telling her his, I guess you would say, backstory.
Yeah.
His backstory. Apparently, he has an audio sensitivity. He has never been able to be in loud, noisy places. So, his mom initially got him what you would say, soundproof headphones.
Yeah, she got him some soundproof headphones so they could walk around without it being.
He got diagnosed.
He was in a room with a whole bunch of other people who
Right.
also had
His mom apparently could not deal with it, so she left him at this facility. And then you see that on the day 5 years ago, he was at Tokyo Tower on the observation deck when the bubbles fell on Tokyo. And was also looking out a window and seeing. Seeing. Seeing.
Papa, it was you
Yeah.
all along.
Yeah. When he was at the observation tower, he only saw one bubble,
Specifically.
and it was singing his song. Stop it. Stop it.
What are you mad because I remember the notes? Don't be mad.
No, I was just mad that he fell in love with a fucking bubble, okay?
I have once again we have a 5 year gap. We're not sure what 5 years. I mean, he could be 17 right now. He could be what 5?
But he looked out the observation window and there was one bubble falling and it was wiggling extra.
I mean,
and
it was glowing.
Singing.
And yeah, I mean,
and he was like, oh, wow. And then he put his hand to the glass. And then the bubble came up to the glass.
Which is another thing that makes it. There are story gaps here. So you have sentient bubbles, you have bubbles that burst, and you have bubbles that just stick around. Why? Why different bubbles?
They don't explain.
Exactly. There's no explanation.
Only 2 sentient bubbles that you know of.
Yes.
And the whole...
Yeah, the whole thing. The whole thing. So...
Only 2.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. So, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, so you find out that he was basically there at the explosion time.
Right.
And he saw the bubble and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with the bubble. It was singing a song and it's so pretty. And blah, blah, blah. And then, boom.
I'm Prince Eric, and that's Ariel.
Stop it.
This ain't no Disney's My Little Mermaid, goddammit.
Usagi is that mop dog?
What?
The mop dog that was on the ship?
No, Usagi's the youngest player on the team. On the Blue Blazers.
Saying he was the mop dog from The Little Mermaid. Get with it.
Flounder.
That's not the dog!
I know. I can't remember the dog's name.
Flounder was friends with the Little Mermaid, not friends with... If anything, the cat was Flounder.
That cat was there for like 0.2 seconds. Screw that cat.
Well, Uta wasn't friends with anybody else except Hibiki. So there was no...
Well, and see, that's another thing. There were 2 other members on that team, and really, they had no character growth. They had barely anything to say.
Nope.
It was really only Hibiki, Uta.
What was that main dude with the red hair?
Was it Shin? Is his name Shin? I want to say it's Shin.
Yeah, he's the only one.
No,
Because it
that's
seemed
no,
he
no,
was
that's
trying
not
really
Shin.
hard to. He was one of the only people who genuinely cared about the team.
It was Kai.
Was
Kai. It was Kai.
He was the only one who genuinely seemed to care about the team.
Feel like he was a team leader.
Yeah, he was trying to be the team leader. He was trying to
get with Makoto.
Run shit. Yeah, he was definitely trying to go on Makoto.
Come on, let me have a drink, baby.
Oh, please.
Please, baby.
Please, baby, please, baby, please, baby, baby, baby.
Please. But yeah, I mean, and he always, not only was he the team leader, but he wanted to get Hibiki into the game and be a part of the team more. But he also seemed like he was jealous of Hibiki because of his natural prowess for Battlecore.
Yeah.
So, like, guy, you can't be like, I want to include you, but at the same time,
Get the fuck out.
I hate your guts, man. Like, bruh, pick a goddamn emotion.
Pick a side.
Goddamn teenagers. Jesus.
But, yeah. So, Uta comes there, and then they have one match against the Morticians.
Yeah, and see, the match with the Morticians happens more out of them kidnapping Makoto.
Yeah.
Finding out that the Morticians or the Undertakers, once again, I don't understand why they had to be like, oh yeah, the team's called the Undertakers, but goddamn Morticians.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. They wear dark purple, black. They have masks on their face. They have freaking high-tech boots that they use that have like
Drones.
jet streams.
They have drones.
Yes, they have freaking drones, and these drones are all the great stuff they have is given to them by sponsors. Why? Because they live stream all their matches. So they're getting lots of stuff, unlike everybody else in the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get better treatment than everybody else.
But they have these boots.
Yeah, those boots are freaking badass.
These boots are amazing, but they like shoot them up in the air like 50 fucking feet.
Again,
Able to traverse huge areas.
Right. So they don't have to be as accurate as every other team. They could like friggin' shoot themselves off a good 50 feet, hit from one building to the next building with ease.
And they can cross gaps that the other people can't.
Correct. Suck it.
Yeah, eat a bag of dirt.
So, this match with the Morticians is more getting Makoto back and, you know, basically saying, sticking it to the man, per se.
They don't explain why they do it either.
Yeah,
They do it just to be D-bags, I guess.
Yeah, they want more viewers because it's I don't even know if it's a life or death because she's just
tied up.
Yeah, she's just tied up with
or handcuffed
the winnings.
to the winnings. Yeah.
Exactly, that's it. It's not like they're gonna drop her and she's gonna die if they don't win.
They were like They were saying like, "Oh, if we win, then
she's ours."
Or she's ours.
Like she's still alive though.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah,
she'll be all right.
Yeah.
She can still do her research. Awesome.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
Yeah. Ooh, you're terrible.
Mm.
And then that one person, the leader of the Undertakers, who doesn't actually speak,
Yeah,
has a little voice box on her hand.
Yeah.
Where she only speaks through her hand.
Yeah. No lip movement at all.
We're going to get you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Are you?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Thanks for sounding like the Red Queen. You sound like a goddamn child.
Creep me the fuck out.
Sorry, Christina V, who voiced that character. But good job on the creepy.
Yeah.
Good job on the
did
creepy.
The creepy. Way to go.
Yep. Little D-baggish, though. Little D-baggish.
You're kind of a douche.
Seeing your picture, though, you're really hot. Hope you follow us at some
No,
point.
you know what?
That'd be awesome.
Shen was not the name of
Was it?
the guy.
No, Shen
was the guy who had the prosthetic.
Yeah, it's Kai.
Kai. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, I was looking up. I just glanced at my notes as we were talking. I was like, I wrote that note.
Who's that guy?
But they get into the Battlecore fight with the Morticians, where they have to basically, if they don't get to the end, then they don't get her back.
Right. Obviously,
yeah,
the Blue Blazes win.
Right.
But
it gets to the end, and it's like there's a huge gap that only the Morticians can cross because it's over an antlion pit, and they can only cross it because they have their water jets on their shoes. And so
Uta uses a song and calls Bubbles to her aid to help her traverse this huge gap.
And her Hibiki?
Yeah. While Kai has to help Hibiki get a good start off.
Yeah.
And helps him across. But then at the end, only one of them can really make it up. So what does Hibiki do? Hibiki grabs her by the hand to throw her up and give her the elevation she needs. Unfortunately, Uta loses that arm, but manages to save Makoto.
Yeah, she saves Makoto, but whenever she touches just Hibiki,
yeah.
you know what? I can't say no. You know what? I can't say just Hibiki.
Yeah,
because she touches Makoto a lot and does not pop.
Correct.
Because they have a lot of scenes of her being Red the Little Mermaid still.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like cuddled up under a blanket or something.
Yeah, super close. Super close.
Because, I guess it's because Makoto sees her as the only other girl. So she's like...
Correct.
Yeah.
There is no other girl on that ship. It's just all the boys.
Yeah, so she's like...
Here comes the boy!
And these, the sword fight sausage fest happening on this boat. So they cuddle up and... So they say... Stop it! So they cuddle up and watch Little Mermaid.
You threw out sword fight. No.
You know what happens. We know. Ding, ding, ding.
Why?
Why?
So yeah.
Don't you just like a little Angelina Jolie?
Lord, that boy. Little Sandra Bullock.
Oh my goodness.
Little Katie
Listen,
Hudson.
Mr. Bullock. You stay right here. I'll go get you a drink.
Lord.
Look here, Uta.
Hibiki.
Oh, Hibiki, you two just look like a power couple.
Lord. It's unfortunately that's true. They do work very well together. Unfortunately, just like every iteration of the fucking Little Mermaid, Fate just don't like him. Fate just hates him to death.
So they save Makoto, but she loses her arm in the process.
Yep.
But she's wearing a jacket, so he doesn't notice until the jacket falls off.
Which is awkward. You would think a limp arm sleeve would, waving in the wind.
And plus, they're always hanging out together.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he takes she ends up, the jacket falls off, and she's basically missing a fucking arm, and half of her body is bubbles.
Yep.
And
she's basically, I think after everything happens, I think they still go back to the Rayo, but she says that she has to go.
Yeah, she has to go to where the song is originating from.
Right. So she has to go back to Tokyo Tower because she knows something bad will happen. So she takes off by herself, and of course, Hibiki being Hibiki, what's he got to do? He's got to go after her.
What was the purpose of those green vests?
Honestly, they don't look like flotation devices.
They don't look like they do anything. Everyone who's about to go do some parkour puts on the green vest, and not one point has that green vest's use ever appeared.
No. It was like they only used it during their battlecore matches, and
it did nothing.
Nothing. It's not like it has a parachute in it. It's not like it has anything that can shoot out to grapple onto anything.
Flotation device.
Nope.
Water.
Nope. Not an inner tube or anything. It's just a stringy vest.
Yeah. It looked like the safety uniforms for when you were crossing Garden Elementary School.
Yep. Basically.
To help kids cross the street.
Here you go.
All right. It's great.
Part of the safety patrol.
Look at me, safety patrol. I stopped the car. Yeah. Cross the street, you little shitlins.
Do it! Fucking do it, doll!
Fucking do it, Derek. Get
Do
out.
it! Oh my god!
Oh my god, leave it.
Sorry, flashbacks from youth. Flashbacks from youth. Freaking a-holes.
She goes to the observation deck, and Biki's like, well, if she goes, I have to go.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is like, well, if you're going, we're going to be a team and go together.
Yeah, so the entire Blue Blazes team decides to follow after him. And this is where we start seeing that weird, big red bubble eye. And I can't really describe it because it's like bubbles, and it almost looks like a flower kind of pattern thing.
Yeah.
But it's what Uta calls her sister or sisters. And they're saying that if she doesn't come back, there will be hell to pay. And I'm like...
But there's also,
it's...
Everything starts getting destroyed in
right,
the Tokyo bubble.
Yeah. So... There start... But red bubbles start...
Yeah.
appearing.
But the red bubbles come in, they,
Yeah,
Move
they
and
are
attack.
like they're attack bubbles apparently. So red bubbles are attack bubbles. Blue bubbles are just floaters.
Float around, do whatever the fuck.
Yeah. So you can tell the difference, obviously, when these red bubbles are straight like, Hibiki, guess what? Fuck you, nigga. I mean, they straight wrap around him and are like trying to choke him out and
Yeah,
or
they're just
fling
like,
him. Yeah, exactly. They're like, hey, guess what? Wave, whoop.
Yeah. But then, like, all the other teams climb on that one Blue Blazes ship.
Right. So
Because,
yeah,
like,
because
shit's going crazy.
so Kai even says that he's been working on repairs. He's trying to get the boat moving.
Yeah.
He finally got it done apparently, and they take off. So they've not only, I mean, after the big victory with the Morticians,
Yeah.
they've literally grabbed almost every team and have them on the row with them.
Yeah, the Morticians included.
Included those damn Morticians.
But they're nice by the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're
like,
because they're like,
you saved our
sponsors were fucking gonna save us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck to all of you.
And then they, like, give them their shoes.
Yes.
The water jet shoes.
Yes, to help
the Blue
them
Blazes to help them get to
all the way
observation
there.
tower.
So, good on them.
Yeah, hooray.
You know,
Even though they look like high heels.
high
But, you know,
heels,
that's okay.
and those guys look they have not seen the sun in a decade.
Yeah.
Them boys is pale.
Oh,
Pale
yes.
as fuck.
They step outside in the sun for 5 minutes and it's gonna be like Sunburn City.
See, when you got these dark lines under your eyes, I mean, you probably need to get some sun. Little vitamin D.
Little vitamin D.
Little vitamin D, hey, hey.
Don't anybody tell me that you don't need vitamin D, because I'll tell you right now, vitamin D is very important for the body. It's very important for the body.
That's why they used to put sick people out in the hospitals. They would just lay them out in the sun in their beds in the middle of the courtyard.
Shit,
Back in the day,
as
and
long
it
as it's
always
not the
worked.
goddamn summer, we're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get no. You can put me out there like middle of fall, early
You know,
winter.
stick me out there for like an hour.
Yeah,
That's fine. Just an hour.
They say about
Once an
15.
hour.
They say you only need about 15 minutes. About 15 minutes in the sun, you good. But you know what? Depending on the kind of day, I'll stay out there for a few hours. Yeah.
That's fine.
Go down to the beach. It's not that cold, but you know what? It's not too cold that I don't. You know, I got goosebumps and shit, and I'm not
Sorry, I
sneezy.
don't like the beach.
You don't like the beach?
No, I'm sorry.
What?
I'm a weirdo.
What?
You know why I don't like the beach?
Why don't you
I don't
like
like the cleanup afterwards. I feel like it's more work cleaning up afterwards than it is fun going into the beach.
Okay. Now it depends on what kind of trip you taking down to the beach. What kind of trip are you trying to take down to the beach?
Anytime we go to the beach, you are touching sand or touching water.
Okay.
Alright? When I get out of there,
Uh-huh.
well, it looks like I gotta spend the next 15 minutes cleaning sand out of my cracks.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm allowed to not like the beach. Fuck the beach.
Okay. Damn.
Fuck the beach. I said it.
Calm down. Shit. Look, when I go to the beach, I'm gonna tell you right now. This is how I like to go down to the beach. I go down to the beach. I got myself a chair.
Uh-huh.
I sit in that chair.
Right.
Now, eventually, I will get up. I will have shorts on. I will run along the beach like a wacko. Why? Because I like to sprint down the beach. It's a nice challenge.
You want to
Sing.
run down the beach?
Yeah, I love running down the beach.
But again, you get sand up your cracks by running in the beach.
What kind of running are you doing?
Lifting up the sand. And it goes all up on your shit.
Man, you a little anal about that damn grain. Calm down.
I don't like it in my crack holes.
Sir,
Afraid someone stick their fingers up your butthole.
no. Yes?
Did you?
It's been years. Leave me alone. It's been over a decade. Leave me. Yeah. Oh,
You
shit.
get
It's
that
been.
reference, we're best friends. Alright, so
Yeah. Back to the story at hand.
yes.
So, Blue Blazes going after Uda to stop her or save her from.
Yeah, they don't know. They just know
Tokyo Town.
they have to get there.
Yeah, they just know they have to get there. So, they got the Mortician's boots. They've got the will.
Yeah, they've got all their team. To
They've
get
got the
there.
touch. They've got the power. If you get that reference,
We are also best friends.
yes.
So yeah, they use these boots because there's a long gap apparently to get to the observation tower that
huge.
no one has ever been able to hit.
I mean, at this point, things are falling apart because of these red bubbles because they're being straight dicks. Not only that, but then spider webs are popping up almost on goddamn command because these red bubbles are apparently inheritors of Uta's sister's will. So they're like
Yeah, they're going after
everything that's
protecting-
trying
yeah.
to get to the tower.
Yeah, so they're all going, and
Yeah.
gradually the team drops off one by one. They don't die,
No, they
but they're
just
just
can't.
held back. They can't go further.
Right. So Shin shows up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shen is a guy. We didn't really talk about him all that much.
No,
but he basically
'cause-
is kind of like he's the older. He used to do the running, but then he lost his leg.
Which makes me. I'm guessing. I'm going to guess that he's at least within his mid-20s, if not early 20s. And I'm guessing he's probably one of the first.
Yeah, he was one of the first
Battle
Battle
Corps.
Corps people. He was really, really good.
Right.
But then he lost his leg, and now he's using a prosthetic.
Right. So he's just like a referee or a caller of
Yeah.
the matches.
Yeah, but everyone respects his opinion.
Oh, yeah,
He's
'cause he's an
neutral.
OG.
Yeah, he's an OG basically. But he joins them and helps him Hibiki trying to get to the observation deck, and then when he gets to the one big gap,
Right.
he does the lay on his back and
Oh.
kicks him off while he's using the jets, and then his prosthetic leg just
Yeah. Now, I think this is another one of those great instances of how they use their cinematography and merge in the CGI with the 2D while Shin is doing his run to show them the path to get to where
Oh
they
yeah,
are.
and he's hopping over shit and going under
And I love the inclusion of somebody with a prosthetic for this reason, because you wouldn't think that somebody who has a prosthetic leg would still have the amount of agility that he has for this kind of run. But to see it in motion and to see how he does it almost looks like a combination of parkour with like a capoeira style of martial arts.
Yeah, that is appropriate. Yes, that is perfect. Yeah.
Look up capoeira. It's awesome. It's a great martial art.
But yeah, it's like smooth. Like it's obviously, you can tell just by the way he moves that it's slower.
Right, because I mean, once again, you got to think that prosthetic's not bending
And so
the same way.
They never deny. Like it's not like suddenly he's running like he has his leg.
No.
No. The entire time that they're animating him moving, they're showing him like limping slightly to the side every
Right.
time he goes, which is appropriate because when you have a prosthetic, it does not function as a
No.
perfectly functioning leg.
I mean, unless you have the proper prosthetic for certain things, like the more running with the reversed bend.
Oh, you mean that like kangaroo leg sort of deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you get that
That
like that bounce.
Super jump, super
Right.
bounce. Yeah.
So this one is a straight prosthetic. It's got a knee that kind of bends, but it's not like super super free.
But with it, he's like, all right. He's like, I tried to get to the observatory all the time.
Right.
Couldn't do it. I think that's how he ends up losing his leg.
Right.
Is because of trying to get to the observatory. He's like, okay, now you can get to it. And then he basically kicks him off.
Right.
With the water jets. Hibiki makes it
Right.
to the observatory, and then he gets in. And then that's when he remembers,
Yeah.
I fell in love with the bubble.
Right. So he sees that moment seems to be frozen in time in a kind of bubble state, but you don't know it's bubbles until afterwards. So he goes to his younger self, and he just has that montage of images of seeing all the bubbles fall and seeing this one bubble and putting his hand on the glass and just saying, "It was you. It was you all along." And the bubble just seems to drift towards his hand.
And it touches the glass.
Right. And at that moment, it seems that's when the explosion happens, not because of their connecting, but because of the jealousy of Uta's sisters, as we going to call them.
Because the red bubbles is
Yeah.
Uta's sister.
Yeah. So they were like, "Oh no, you can't just interact with this motherfucker. No. Fuck that shit." Bow.
Yeah, and he explodes.
And Uta
Yeah.
saves him then as well.
Yeah, because
in her bubble state.
He somehow is able to survive.
Right.
Because all he does after that moment is he remembers waking up.
Yeah. He doesn't remember it very well because he lost consciousness. Uta kind of throws it in there, I guess, psychically, maybe?
Yeah, something like
that.
that.
You know, it was her that saved him. So...
But then she does, like, a confrontation with her sister, and it's basically, like, Black Uta versus colored Uta.
Yeah, so that was
doesn't
weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Because it doesn't look
kind
like
of stare at each other.
Yeah, it's not like she's trying to kill Uta. She's just like, you need to go back to what you are, come back to us, and stop being with the humans or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been with them for 2 days.
Yeah.
That's enough time.
All of 2 days. Like, oh no. That's too damn long, honey. No. You come back home where you fucking belong.
You come over here, you float around in circles, you occasionally pop against someone's, thigh. Maybe some kids will spit you out a little bit. That's fine. That's what they do. But you come be a bubble, all right?
And Uta's like, nah, bitch. Bah!
No, she couldn't even touch him, so what the hell are you doing anyways?
I know, right? Man.
She just rubbing herself up against the dishes. That's what she was doing.
Stop.
But basically, yeah, so they all get to the center. He finds out that Uta has been the bubble he's been in love with all along.
Yeah!
And also his love for bubbles is what caused the entire destruction and death of thousands of people in Tokyo and the ruining of a massive bubble in the middle of Tokyo because he was in love with the bubble. Yeah, and then he goes away. And Uta disappears, and he cries a lot.
It's not even just disappears because they draw this out. I mean,
they draw that shit out.
They are literally like parkouring all over the place, and he's holding on to Uta. And I'm like, why hadn't she just splashed away the whole time?
Because he's holding her, and he's bouncing from bubble to bubble, and
right?
Debris over. This was just their excuse to draw cool shit, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It was great. Great.
Once again, animation quality is epic.
Yes,
it's
phenomenal.
Epic. We didn't touch certain scenes. You will see a deepening in our protagonist's face, and it's mostly
that's when they zoom in.
Yeah, I mean this is zooming. Yeah, I mean yeah, but it's more detail on the lips and the eye area. You're like, ooh,
oh my,
it's so different. Oh my god,
did they use a gradient in Photoshop?
Oh my god, you know that? Oh Jesus, I tell you what, that boy.
Why? Why did you use a gradient?
You know what? Yes, I did. God damn. Yeah, you found me out, son of a bitch. I was trying to be subtle with it. You know.
Oh.
Yup.
Okay, Jay. Jay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets back with her, and she's basically like she has no legs, she has no arms. She's just she's a potato with a head.
Yeah, I mean, also the bubbles.
Like as he touches her, it's like she just turns into bubbles, except for when he's doing his parkour away with her.
Right, and it's weird. It's weird because what's happening is more bubbles are falling again.
It's strictly for narrative. Yeah,
it's
all over the world.
And it's once again, this is because the sister's like pissed,
right?
Apparently,
right.
So a second bubbling was happening the whole time all this was going down. But after all that, Hibiki finally finds a small place or a small rock, and
and that's where he lays down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love this bubble so
she,
much.
she, you know, she has that realization. I was happy to be human. I was happy for this time with you, and whatnot. And just like in the Hans Christian Andersen version of the Little Mermaid, she just disappears into bubbles.
Yeah.
And he just wails. But eventually, everything's back to normal.
It cuts back, and he's like, I'm gonna be a team player, and I don't even need to wear my headphones anymore.
Yeah. Apparently, during everything, he lost the headphones. I think during the whole mortician thing, and you know,
Yeah, because he realized she helped him be his
more
true
open.
self or something. I think is how he phrased it.
I guess mellowed him out.
Melobit.
Yeah, you know,
He learns how to ignore shit. I'll tell you what. Have kids. You learn how to tone shit out.
Yeah.
Oh, they crying about something stupid. They fighting about something stupid. I just tone that shit out.
I'm glad.
That's when you turn up the volume and you turn on the subtitles.
Gotcha.
That's called parenting.
Yeah.
But that's the
Tell
end.
you what,
He's
yeah.
happily parkouring his way through life.
And still.
And the
Thanks
bubble
it-
pops around Tokyo.
Yeah. So, bubble pops around Tokyo. Gravitational stuff is back to normal, and they're doing regular parkour still, while the city is being rebuilt.
Yeah, because the city is obviously being rebuilt while
Yeah,
they're doing this
people-
parkour. There's
yeah,
like cranes all over the fucking
Yep,
place.
people are back. You got workers doing their thing, and these guys are and they're like looking at these kids like, "What the fuck? We're fucking working here. Come on!" So, it's weird.
So that's essentially the end of the movie. Like,
Yeah. Now, I mean, they do go into one segment, I think, with Hibiki, Makoto, and Uta, where they talk about vortexes and the constant of the collapse and reformation.
Oh, how it's inevitable with everything that
Yeah.
it collapses. And
Like
reforms
even
and collapses and
our
reforms.
solar system, the Milky Way is going to collide with Andromeda.
Yeah, in
in
like
like a few
4.4 million years. or some
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, so it's like then we're going to break down, or whatever's going to break down, and then reform into something new, a new galaxy. And I'm like, that's basic
Yeah, that's
rejuvenation. I mean,
yeah.
that's what happens. People die, their bodies go back into nutrients and feed the earth, and the earth
It's
grows.
the circle of life.
I don't know the proper African to go with that. Don't make it up. Someone's gonna be like, "That's inaccurate," and you know someone's gonna give a shit for it.
This is my statement saying that I am making this shit up as I go along. Thank you very much.
There you go. Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Let's always go for a disclaimer. If you don't go for a disclaimer, motherfucker.
But with this one, I think that it was really stupid that he's gonna get hard on every time that he ever washes dishes again, because he's gonna be thinking about his Uda bubble. He's gonna like
So
pour some
freaking terrible.
Dawn into his sink and then run some water. And he'll see some bubbles and be like, "Ow, ow."
My thing is, if you're gonna have a story be about the Little Mermaid or draw parallels from the Little Mermaid, you cannot just be like, "We're gonna read the Little Mermaid." Really?
During the show of
Really?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
What if the people at Game of Thrones in the sixth book read Game of Thrones?
Oh, you don't say. For everybody who's actually read the books, I have not read the books. I just watched the series.
I have. Fuck the series.
God damn. Okay.
Sorry.
Look, I'm still all about Amelia Clark. What's up, Amelia?
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hell yeah.
I'm not talking about that.
Girl, your body all god damn roller coaster, girl. I said it.
I know that's why I'm staring at you awkwardly.
Don't stare at me awkwardly.
That's
You know
fine.
what exactly? You
That's
know
fine.
exactly what I mean.
I do know exactly what you mean. But I'm
That
just
girl,
saying-
if Amelia Clark ain't got nobody, I know I can't have you, but girl, I'd like to meet you. Ain't even got to be. Ain't got to even be in person, man.
I'm just letting you know that he can't have you, but I can.
Shut up. Don't you steal this from me,
I'm not stealing anything. Because you
Ooh.
never had it in the first place.
fucker. Going for a straight waffle. Revenge.
I love you, you son of a bitch. Anyways,
Yep.
this movie. I gave it. I think I would have to agree with the Rotten Tomatoes score. 50 out of 100 bubbles. Red bubbles. No, you know what? Purple bubbles. It's in the middle.
Oh shit! All right.
Purple bubbles.
50
out of
bubbles.
100 purple
Okay,
bubbles.
I mean, you know what? I'm going to wholly agree with that. I'm going to wholly agree with that as well.
Hot damn! High five.
It's the first time. It's the first time in 3 episodes we have agreed on a score because, once again, the story was flawed. I like the premise. I don't like the follow
Animation
through.
was so fucking good.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So pretty
just know, you will be just amazed. You'll be amazed.
It's mostly like, I mean, just sitting around, anyone can do that sort of animation. But it's when they're running and they're doing the parkour.
Right.
And like, anyone can do it's like a 2D game is easy to do side by side, jumping and hopping, whatever the fuck.
Right.
But when they're going behind them and then zooming over and then around the front, like moving around them as they're running, that's fantastic.
Like I said, the cinematography was amazing. The animation quality was amazing. Character design was amazing. Story. Writers. I know some of you writers that were on this actually worked on Attack on Titan 2. I know you. I fucking know you.
He's watching.
What happened?
He's
Just what happened?
angry.
I'm like, I know you weren't trying to give us the Little Mermaid from Disney, but goddamn, come on.
I think they just mentioned it as a way for people to
Just kind of
come check
connect to
out.
it. I mean,
Because
that's...
they read The Little Mermaid during it, but it wasn't even like the Disney Little Mermaid.
No, it was the Hans.
original-
Yeah, Hans Christian Andersen. Apparently, that shit was dark. I mean, a
Was it
lot of
dark?
old fairy tales are dark.
Yeah, just like the Grimm's fairy tale.
Oh yeah. That shit was dark as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Ew,
you know
dude.
what's funny is the ones that we know are the second edition, which is when they toned them down.
Oh, so they were gruesome.
Yes, they were even more gruesome, and I remember because I looked this shit up.
That's fair enough.
I watched some documentary on it a long time ago, but yeah. What we know is weak ass shit.
Terrible.
Absolutely terrible.
You know what? Since we're getting to the end, we gotta pick what we're gonna do next.
What we're gonna do next?
Yeah, what we're gonna do
Oh
next.
shit, we haven't talked about what we're gonna do next.
I know we kind of dropped the ball on that one. That's our bad, folks. That's our bad.
That's
But you
not
know
our
what?
bad. That's fine. You know what? It's gonna be a surprise.
Ooh, we're gonna surprise them next
We're
time.
gonna surprise.
Ooh.
What are we gonna do next time? You'll fucking find out when we do. Bitch.
Oh shit! He just. I'm sorry, folks. He called you bitches, but
I'm not sorry. I thought it was funny as hell.
aye, folks. It has been KJ&A. We's about this piece. Be good, motherfuckers.
You good, motherfucker. Thank you so much for listening to the KJ&A podcast. If you liked what you heard, you can always catch up with us by sending us an email. You got a question, you got a comment, you want to send some encouraging words. You can catch up with us at kjnapodcast@gmail.com. We're also on all the socials. We got the TikTok, we got the Twitter, we got the Facebook and the Instagram, all at KJ&A Podcast. We also have a Patreon where you can catch extra episodes and bonus content that we don't have on here, also at KJ&A Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.